The afternoon sun slid low across the sky, washing the small countryside village in shades of amber and dust. It was the kind of hour when life usually felt tender and predictable. Children running barefoot over winding dirt paths, neighbors trading stories from their porches, chickens scratching lazily at the ground. But that day, something was wrong. Diep sensed it before she understood it. She stood motionless outside her modest wooden house, hands still slick from washing vegetables, droplets of water cooling on her skin. Her breath hitched, not sharply, but as though something unseen had slipped into her chest and curled itself between her ribs. The air felt too quiet, too still. Inside, little Nay hummed peacefully to herself, sprawled on the floor with crayons, drawing crooked suns and oddly shaped houses, completely unaware that the world outside their door had already started to bend. For nearly a week, Diep had lived with the same whispering dread. James had promised he'd be gone only 2 or 3 days. He said the business trip was simple, routine, safe. But then the 3rd day passed. Then the 4th. No phone call, no message, nothing but silence filling the space where his voice should have been. Each night she lay awake, clutching a pillow that still held his faint scent, feeling that same cold warning coil deeper inside her, as if her body recognized a danger her mind could not yet name. That warning sharpened into a storm when she saw the black car. It rolled in silently along the dirt road, its polished exterior wildly out of place among weather-worn fences and rusted bicycles. Diep didn't recognize the car, but she recognized the presence stepping out of it. A tall, rigid man, shoulders carved in stone, moving with the kind of authority that made the air tighten around him. Father James. He had always looked at her as if she were something James needed to outgrow, a fragile mistake from the countryside. His stare, even from a distance, could slice through her confidence. Today, it did worse. It tore through her peace. Diep felt her heartbeat hammer against her ribs. She had never expected him to come here. Not alone, not without James. He approached with slow, measured steps. Dust clung to his shoes, dust he would never allow inside the marble-floored halls of his wealth. His eyes locked onto hers, cold and calculating, assessing her as though deciding how much blame she deserved. "Miss Diep," he said finally, voice low and heavy, each syllable carrying the weight of unspoken judgments. "We need to talk." The wind went still. Even the leaves stopped rustling, as if nature itself braced for what was coming. This wasn't a visit, this was an ambush, and James wasn't here to stop it. For the first time, fear replaced doubt. What if James didn't even know what was unfolding? What if he was already somewhere she could no longer reach? What if, even if he tried, he would not return in time? Father James stepped past her, entering her home without invitation. Diep followed instinctively, breath trembling, fingers curling into her skirt to hide the shaking she couldn't control. Nay looked up with wide, curious eyes. Mother. Who is he? The word mother hardened Father James's expression like ice forming over a lake. He turned slowly, gaze slicing through her composure. Let us speak privately. But Nay sensed the tension and clung tightly to Diep's leg. Diep's voice softened as she knelt to stroke the girl's hair. It's all right, sweetheart. Go to the bedroom. Close the door. Only when the small door clicked shut did Diep manage to stand, although her body continued betraying her, knees trembling, breath uneven. Where is James? She asked, voice barely a whisper but carrying a fragile bravery. Father James drew in a long breath, jaw tightening. James, he said, has disappeared. The world tilted. Her shoulder hit the wall. Air refused to enter her lungs. No. No, he wouldn't leave without telling me. He didn't leave, Father James snapped. Someone forced his hand. Someone trapped him. And that someone is connected to you. Diep stared at him, stunned speechless. Me? Her voice cracked. Father James's eyes burned with an accusation years in the making, a disdain he had always harbored, now sharpened into a weapon. The man hunting James, the one who sabotaged his business, framed him, destroyed the hydroelectric project. John. He knows about you. And the child. A chill raced across Diep's skin. John. She remembered him, the strange familiarity in his voice, the way he watched her from a distance, the smile that never reached his eyes. The warning signs she couldn't decipher then now slammed together violently into place. John wants revenge, Father James said, fury trembling beneath his restraint. You were the easiest target. With James missing, he will come for you. Diep's hand flew to her mouth. Her heart pounded so loudly she feared Nay could hear it through the bedroom door. Why are you here? She whispered. Father James's jaw clenched. To take the child. The world fell out from under her. Every fear she had ever swallowed tore through her chest. The air thickened until breathing felt impossible. No. No, you can't. I can, he replied, voice like stone. And I must. If John uses the child to manipulate James, my son will die. You do not understand the scale of danger. Tears blurred her vision. Her legs threatened to collapse. I will not let you take her, Diep whispered, trembling but resolute. She is my daughter, and James's blood, he shot back. That means protecting her is my responsibility. At that exact moment, a car engine roared in the distance. fast. Urgent, growing louder. Diep's breath caught. Only one person drove like that when she was in danger, James. But was he too late? Outside, the world fell into an unnatural silence. Inside the darkened room where Diep and James finally reunited. Briefly, desperately, Father James's voice thinned into a whisper. He found us. Gravel crunched under slow, deliberate footsteps. Someone circled the house. James grabbed Diep's wrist. Stay behind me. No matter what. Before she could respond, the door handle rattled violently. Diep gasped and covered her mouth. James pushed her into the corner. Father James stepped forward, shielding her. The rattling stopped. A chilling stillness. Then, bam! The door exploded open. A wind of dust and dread swept inside. A tall man entered, black coat, gloves, cap pulled low, but his voice, that mocking drawl. John. Well, he said, smirking, looks like the whole family's finally together. Diep felt the blood drain from her body. James stepped forward, fury vibrating through every muscle. Leave her out of this, he snarled. John tilted his head. Oh James, everything is about the three of us. Your business, your downfall. And now, his eyes slid toward Diep. Your woman. Diep flinched. James lunged, but Father James held him back. John's smile grew cruel. Tell me, James, does she know? James froze. Know what? Diep whispered. John nodded at Father James. What your father did to my family. The room tensed. Father James's face went pale. You stole everything from us, John hissed. Did you really think your son would get a happy life while mine was destroyed? Please, stop, Diep breathed. John's eyes snapped to her, studying her like prey. I used to pity you, he said softly. A poor girl with nothing, his smile hardened, but now? You're the perfect way to make James suffer. He reached into his coat. Father James yanked Diep behind him. Don't move, he whispered. John pulled out a gun. Diep's scream caught in her throat. James stiffened. Relax, John said. I'm not here to kill anyone. Today, he cocked it anyway and raised it toward Diep. James roared, but the gun fired a hollow click. Empty. John smirked. You still fall for it every time. Diep collapsed to her knees, shaking uncontrollably. John slipped the gun back inside his coat. Next time, he whispered, and next time, she might not be so lucky. Before leaving, he turned to Father James. Your sins always catch up to you. Now your son will pay the price. Then he walked out, silent, controlled, like death closing a door behind him. The room remained frozen until Diep's sobs broke the air. James rushed to her, falling to his knees and pulling her into his arms. I'm here, he whispered, voice cracking. I'm here, Diep. I won't let him touch you. But his eyes, those trembling, terrified eyes, revealed a truth he could no longer hide. This was only the beginning. John would come back, and next time, no one knew what he would bring.